Hey, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy D Bellboy, aka Mr. Black Ranger here, coming at you with a sort of new video this time. I'm gonna call this series Amazing Games Revisited, because there are a lot of great games out of there that I just kind of want to go back and play, take a look at on the channel. We'll be kind of playing them casually, depending on how well this or how much your reactions or how well this series does. We'll go back and do a couple of games. I've got like a few that I want to go take a look at right now. But the game that we're starting off with right now that I want to take a look at is Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning. So this game, it was launched back in 2012 on PC, PS3, and like the 360. Pretty much it's a fantasy action RPG developed by Big Huge Games and 38 Studios, and it was published by EA. So now, for those of you who have not heard of Big Huge Games, they were big on the 360. They made a few Xbox Live Arcade games, such as Rise of Nations and Catan. They were okay games, but it really didn't kind of take them off anywhere. As of right now, they are a subsidiary of Nexon, so that's kind of what they're doing right now. And Big Huge Games was if y'all didn't know, back in the day, Curt Schilling, the famous pitcher, famous Major League Baseball pitcher, he ended up forming that studios and pretty much based it off of his jersey number there. And they were originally based out in Massachusetts, and they ended up setting out to make this game. So honestly, originally this game had a lot of powerhouse names behind it, because Ken Ralston, who was most famous for the Elder Scrolls series, Morrowind and Oblivion, he pretty much came out of retirement, I believe, to work on this game. R.A. Salvatore, which is pretty much, if you don't know who he is one of America's like best fantasy authors. He literally penned the entire world for Amalur. Like, I know you guys heard about like when Bungie was with Microsoft, they had the Halo Bible. Well, R.A. did the same for this thing. For this game, he had the Amalur Bible already up and penned for this game. As well as Todd McFarlane. Todd McFarlane needs no intro. Like this, like if you don't know who Spawn is, I don't know what to tell you. But Todd McFarlane himself was actually doing the artwork for this game. So like that alone lets you know how big a scope and ambition this game was. And then to top it all off, Grant Kirkhope did the music. And for those of you who don't know who Grant Kirkhope is, you're gonna need to go back to like your N64 days, and kind of back to like your Sega day. Well, not so much Sega. Go back to your Rare days, when Rare was actually doing a lot. He did music for Killer Instinct 2 Gold, GoldenEye 007, Banjo-Kazooie, Donkey Kong 64, Perfect Dark. Some of the more recent ones he did was Civilization Beyond Earth. And like another expansion for a Civ game. I can't remember which one, but yeah, they got some powerhouse. They had powerhouse names behind this game. This game was slated to take off, because they actually had an MMO planned for this game as well too, and the MMO would pretty much connect this game as well as future games that they were planning on it. So what happened, you ask? Well, not to get too much into it, but the main issue was like the state of Rhode Island. They gave 38 Studios I think it was like 75 mil for the MMO. And like I said, they had the biggest ambitions with this MMO. They wanted it to interconnect with this game as well as like all their future games, and I think they said they wanted to be like fully voiced and everything. And as you know, like BioWare did like the fully voiced MMO with KOTOR, and that cost them a pretty penny. And so yeah, if you're they wanted to make an MMO, they took the 75 mil. It was a little bit of mishandling of money, and they had bigger dreams than what the money could afford them, and they ended up tanking and filing for bankruptcy. And it even got so bad that the government got involved, because it was like the Rhode Island, what was it, like the Rhode Island Commerce Corporation, and like Wells Fargo ended up like they charged them with like defrauding investors because they didn't tell them how bad like the company was actually how bad the company was when they were getting the money from them. So it was one of these games that was a really good game. The company had a really good vision, but it was just monetary and kind of mishandling of things that kind of just took them like downhill. Sad to say, I would have loved to see where this game went, because again, like, it is one of the most underrated games that kind of came out in 2012. Personally, it's one of my favorites though, but that's just like a little backstory on the game. We don't want to waste too much time on there. So yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and load up a new game and just hop right into it real quick here. Alright, so we're gonna load up, hit that new game. We're just gonna play it on normal for right now.
From the beginning, we were wrong. And only now, well into the second decade of the conflict, have we begun to understand the mistakes we have made. We lived in harmony among the Fae, in a world awakened to new magic. Perhaps we should have foreseen what might be born on this rising tide. What force might awaken. A force powerful enough to twist even the eternal and immutable Fae folk. But Gadflow, the new king of the Winter Court, surprised us all. Singular among his people, he was all that other Fae were not. Aggressive, ambitious, visionary. He had power like none we had ever seen, terrible and deadly. Gadflow and his followers, the Tuatha Deon, believed that a new god was to be born in the east, beneath Gadflow's crystalline fortress of Amathen. In the name of that god, they marched to war against the young races of Amalur. Against a mortal army, no matter the power of their god, we might have been victorious. But the Fae are creatures of magic, not bound by the laws of life and death. Each Tuatha fallen on the battlefield would soon rise again, for the Fae do not know death as we do. How could we stand against such a force? For 10 years the war raged. For 10 years the armies of Men and Alpha fought and died. But as our numbers dwindled, we knew that it was only a matter of time. Our fate had been written. At least, that is what we believed. Until you died.
Well, that guy was good. War never changes. Oops, wrong game. We'll get to that one later.
What do you think this one is then? Alpha? Garan? Could even be a Jotun. Always a surprise, eh, Garan?
Eyes on the job, boy. Don't matter what it is. Dead's dead. And be thankful for that. All we've seen. Go on and pull back the sheet, though. It'll need to be in our report, one way or the other.
Alright, so here we can choose our starting class and gender. So with it being a fantasy game class, gender does not matter. However, class, base, not so much class, but base race does. So you have the Almai. sitting a little ways from me. Yeah, the Almine. So the Almine are warlike and religious nation of storied origin. Many Almine have come to the Faelands seeking freedom while honoring the traditions of their homeland. And the racial bonuses that they have: alchemy +1, blacksmithing +2, and persuasion +1. So again, this game has got alchemy for like playing with plants. You can make potions and things. Blacksmithing, forging of weapons and armor. Persuasion, it's exactly how it is in any game. You wanna stab somebody in the face. Guard comes up. I saw you stab that guy in the face. No, I didn't. Oh no, you didn't. That's pretty much how it works here. Next up is the Varani. So hardened by the high seas, the Varani are just as frequently pirates and mercenaries as they are shrewd merchants. They favor swords and daggers as seaworthy weapons. And so the Varani, mercantile +1, detect hidden +1, lockpicking +2. So generally, if you're looking for more of like a starting stealth character, the Varani is not a bad one. Mercantile allows you to get better buy and sell rates at merchants. Detect hidden allows you, it's exactly what it is, it allows you to detect hidden treasures and doors in the world. And lockpicking, exactly what it is, it makes it easier for you to pick locks. Next up is the Losifar. The Losifar are a proud and ancient people from the frozen lands of the north. Losifar judge themselves fit to divine right from wrong under wind, sun, and sky, and met an even-handed justice. So their racial bonus, again, alchemy +1 for potions. Sage crafting in this game deals with gems. You can socket gems in your weapons and armor that give you certain abilities. So that's what that is. And then dispelling +2. There are curses in this game. There just like there are blessings, there are curses, and dispelling allows for you to pretty much dispel the curses a lot easier. And when I mean curses in this game, I mean like serious curses. Like if certain items, if you don't dispel them and you get hit, it'll pretty much like it'll drain all your mana, and it will continue to drain your mana, or it will continue to drain your health, or you won't be able to you won't be able to use certain attacks until you actually get that curse healed at a healer. So it is real in this game. And the last we have are the Dokkalfar. So the Dokkalfar are renowned as sophisticated students of magic and diplomacy. While they do not shy from conflict, they prefer to resolve disputes subtly and with grace, or efficiently in silence. And their racial bonus, stealth +2. So again, if you're looking for, if you want a good starting class, if you're kind of that stealthy guy, you don't like direct confrontations, they get a boost to stealth. Sagecraft, like I said again, for sliding gems into weapon and armor, and then persuasion for pretty much getting out of anything, well, almost anything in this game. And there are some stuff you just can't persuade out of. But yeah, so for us right now, for this one, we're actually going to go with the Varani, because detect hidden in this game is actually, I won't say it's broke, but it is really good, because it allows you to detect really early hidden items that could be useful for either selling or using. Now, as well as in this game with the blacksmithing by far is the most broken thing in the game, because you can pretty much power up your blacksmithing relatively easy, and they also do have trainers in this game that allow you to actually train in that certain area. So once you get to like a certain level with blacksmithing, as well as like sagecraft, pretty much you can build yourself god tier armor, and you never have to like find anything at all ever. Like, and when I mean you can build god tier armor, like on when this game first came out, I think I was level like 30 something, and I wasn't even halfway near the game, but I was literally making like purple tiered armor and just wrecking face for everything. So it's like blacksmithing is really, really good in here. But like I said, we're gonna go with the Varani. We're gonna take some lock picking. We're gonna get some detect hidden, and as you all know, Like I said, I love a nice female who can wield a big sword with some red hair. So we're going with the female version. And once you select which race you want, you can choose your god. So the god of fire, Vraker, gives you +6 fire damage and fire resistance. I'm sorry, +6% fire damage and resistance. Njordur, the god of water, gives you ice damage as well as ice resistance by 6%. Theoden, the god of war, gives you 5% physical damage and armor. Balin, the god of death, gives you 1% chance to crit and 8% crit hit damage. And then Lupoku, the god of mischief, gives you poison, 6% poison damage and 6% poison resistance. And then if you choose no god, you get a 1% experience bonus. Honestly, like these starting bonuses, they aren't bad, but compared to like as you start progressing in the game, these things are really minor. So honestly, whichever one you want, go ahead. Me personally, I'm gonna choose no god because that experience, that 1% experience bonus, is actually pretty decent to start off with. Because honestly, like this poison damage and a chance to crit and everything, like I said, if you're once you start building with once you start armors like blacksmithing or even sage crafting, these are literally gonna become like negligent. Honestly, even the experience bonus once you start blacksmithing becomes negligent. But for right now, like I said, we're gonna take it. So we got our couple of presets here for faces. Whatever, we'll just start with preset 1 and we'll just work our way down from there. So nice bronze skin there. Bronze skin. Can't remember if they had green eyes on this one. Or was that? Yeah, cool. I'm not really an eyeshadow thing or lipstick, so yeah, we'll just leave it where it is. For hair, let's see what we got. The old Hilda, as I call it, the Hilda hairstyle. Standard. Actually, that's not a bad one. Actually, now that I think about it. The Mohawk. Yeah, we'll rock with this one. And then accessories, jewelry. What kind of jewelry we got? Oh, nose ring. Dual earrings. Or is it one earring? Actually, yeah, I like that. We'll go with the one earring. And a tattoo. Yeah, I like that one. A nice little star. Is that a star? Make ourselves look like a real bandit. Yeah, where's that star at? Go back with that one. Here we go. And white, and we'll just reduce that intensity just a little bit. That way it almost seems like a birthmark. Unless there's a... Actually, yeah. There we go. Cool. And that'll do it.
One of the Barani women. Must have followed a mercenary band over. Maybe one of them herself. Doesn't much matter now. Fared pretty well, though. All right, then. Make sure it goes into the report. You know he'll want all the details.
Amazing how well the body held up. Better than I've seen.
I'm just glad it's not moving. Must have been born under a lucky star, this one.
Anything else we need?
Unless you'd like to name her, I think we're done. Put her with the others.
Alright, so for the name, let's see, what do we gonna name her? Go with something nice and simple. Go with Talia. How about that?
Well, that's it for you then. Better luck next time.
Boop, 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 boop. Right down the old hole there. Oh my. Oh, ain't that quite the situation. Oh god. It's making me want to take a rest. Oh man, it's making me want to take another shower right now just looking at it. I completely forgot about the intro for this game. Oh god, I feel dirty. I feel so dirty. Like I feel like I need my Febreze right now. Like at least till I can get to my bathroom to shower. Ugh. But yeah, here we are. We literally just new quest active, Out of Darkness. Climbed out of the pile of bodies back there behind us. Don't want to go back there. Like I said, I want to shower. Yeah, so where's my start button? Alright, so there we go down to quests. The quest log contains all your quests. You can set your active quest by selecting quest, pressing A. Got it, which it is our main quest. It is set. And inventory. So right now we have on these tattered shirt and legs. They give us 3, what? 3 defense and 2. Okay, cool. Alrighty. Alright, so let's see if I remember these controls because it has been a while. Tap A to, yes, A to run. I think like X and Y for combat. Yeah, B to roll. And left trigger to block. And like the rest of them we'll get once we get the rest of our abilities and stuff. But for now, disposal note. Secrecy is still important in our work, requiring specialized disposal of our unfortunate failures. Piling remains have become a concern in the lower caverns, so an incinerator has been added to deal with the waste. This should make disposal work slightly less horrible. Slightly less horrible, huh? Yeah, pile of bodies. Slightly less horrible. Although you should avoid drinking water from downstream of the ash dumps. Hardly a fitting rest for the poor things. But if any consolation, these weren't their original bodies in the first place. Fulmerous hues. Well, aren't you a peach? Oh, what you got on you, Mr. Glowing Skeleton? Give me the cash! Got some cash. And for you guys who love breaking items in this game, that is the number one thing in this game. You can break items and get gold, so go back crazy happy breaking crap. Pull the lever, burn the body. One down, thousands more to go. Whoever's job whoever this guy is, he's failing at his job because there's literally that pile of bodies right over there. But enough of that. Loot my rusty sword. Okay, so now in this game they did what I wish could be done in most all RPGs. Once you open any type of chest, you can select anything. You can select everything from the chest. However, you also have the option where if you see down at the bottom down there, it says add to junk by pressing Y. You can add items that you no longer want into a junk pile. And then once you get back to town, you can actually sell everything in the junk pile and never have to look at it. So it doesn't really it'll still take up inventory space, but it won't be in the main inventory space with all the items that you want, which I thought was a really great addition in this game. Yep. And so, as you can see, you have two different weapon slots, primary and secondary. Primary weapon slot is going to be on X. Secondary weapon slot is going to be on Y, I believe. Yeah, I think that's right. And that's the X. Let me check. Inventory, weapons, unequip, secondary. Oh. Well, I guess we gotta find another one then. Also, this game does have combos. Not like your Devil May Cry combos and not like your traditional fighting game combos. But like once we get a little ahead in the game, I'll kind of show you how they generally work.
Run!
Scatter, children of dust! Scatter before the might of the Tuatha!
Oh my, well, that escalated quickly. And there we go. Like I said, we get gold from breaking barrels. And what do we have here? Rats. Ow. So, yep, simple. Oh. Well, geez, my man right there is just a one-man army. But yeah, standard combo XXXX. Hey buddy, I'm talking here. We get it. You know, you're a one-man wrecking crew. Got it. But yeah, so standard combos XXX. However, you can vary it up though. So if by tapping X, it'll hold it and it allows you to do an uppercut, which is what I was saying that the game has combos in here. And so, depending on how you vary up attacks and what you do, you can extend the combos. And when I tell you combos in this game look pretty sweet, they once you start getting them going, it's like, yeah, it's a sight to behold. This is a really, really pretty game. I know what I know during Bloodborne runs. Jesus here's Toast talks about ladders. Well, I'm gonna talk to you about doors. Doors in this game are beautiful. Thank you for interrupting. But yeah, no, this game has some really, really beautiful doors in it, though. So we're gonna go ahead and see what we need to do here.
You! Up there! Please help me! Please!
Miss me. Get up there. 1, 2, 5. And there he goes. Down for the count.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. If you hadn't come along... Wait. I've seen you before. On the slab. You were dead. It worked. By the tome, it worked. You're alive.
Bruh, I'm clearly right here. I'm not dead. What are you talking about?
No, clearly not. Not anymore. But you were. The Well of Souls remade your body. We thought you were another failure. But the well restored your soul to your body, and it worked. We must get you to Professor Hughes right away. He'll have questions for you.
First off, who's trying to kill me here, buddy?
Oh my, you don't know? Perhaps the process damaged your memory. They are the Tuatha Deo, the enemies of all the young races. We've never seen them this far inland, not even during the invasion. I don't know why they are here. Hughes may have the answer to that as well. You must stay alive and reach him.
And, okay, yeah, Hughes, but again, I got some questions, buddy.
But we must get to Hughes. He'll be in his study on the ground floor. The Tuatha are coming in through the lower levels. If we hurry, we should be able to beat them to the top. Take these. They'll help keep you safe long enough to get to Hughes. Now, let's get going.
Alright, so we received some healing potions from him, and just like in typical fashion, you can talk to the gentleman, get some more info about the world, what's going on, and then the unique thing they did for this game as well is your main to push along the main story quest. Those are outlined in blue with the question mark by them, so you ask them that, and it'll go ahead and get you the information that you need to know to get to the next step. So just gonna talk to them a little bit. So who are these attackers?
Oh my, you don't know? Perhaps the process damaged your memory. They are the Tuatha Deo, the enemy of all the young races. We've never seen them this far inland, not even during the invasion. I don't know why they're here.
So you said we died?
I wish I could tell you more. You showed no signs of life when we removed your new body from the well's waters. We just put it in the furnace room with the others. We would have never done that if we knew.
Jeez, you guys' death checking is horrible. This Well of Souls, what's that?
The Well of Souls is just ahead. You'll see. And it works. It restored you to life. There will be plenty of time to explain later. We've got to get going.
Not really an explanation, but okay.
He'll be in his study on the ground floor of the tower. At least, I hope he's there. And safe. Let me get this door, and we can be on our way.
Alright, so let's loot these guys. Oh, so now we got some armor, so like I said, we can either take it and it'll go directly to our inventory. We can Y add it to the junk, or we can compare it. Obviously, we have crappy armor on, and as you can see, everything that you pick up has will have some type of buff on there. So honestly, we're just gonna equip this because for right now, we want critical hit damage early on in the game until a certain event happens. I'll let you know what it is. You just want to go ahead with
Right this way.
with the critical.
Go first.
Leggings. Equip. Said break these boxes, get that early gold, because it will come in handy. And we got some boots, so now I'm not running around barefoot. I mean, we totally didn't take a bath after getting out of a pile of dead bodies, but hey, at least we're not in the old clothing anymore, right? Right. So again, go to inventory. We just got the consumables, the minor healing potions. There are healing potions, and there is mana, as you can see. So in the game, mana potions are I think defaultly. They are defaulted either to like the up or down on the D-pad, because I'm playing on an Xbox 360 controller. I think it's up or down. If it's not, it's like left or right. It's one of the two. But you don't have to actually slot those. However, if you excuse me, if you want though, you can excuse me, you can actually add them to a radial menu here. And you can access it by holding down the left button in actual game. So just set it to whatever slot you want. Once you go back to regular game, hold it down. It'll be there. Excuse me, one moment. Okay, sorry about that. Had a little coughing fit there. But yeah, like I was saying, the radio menu for your consumables. There you go. Let's move on forward.
After our greatest invention, the Well of Souls. Imagine an end to war, an end to death.
And like always, just because you can doesn't necessarily mean you should. Yeah, look at these visuals though. My goodness. Well, so much for that. I know what you're thinking. You said there were good doors. Trust me. These are the entry-level doors. We'll get to some of the better-looking doors around here in a minute. Actually, now that I think about it, it might be like next episode when we get to like the good doors. Whew.
We're in one of the storerooms. See if you can find anything useful.
Hey, take the lockpicks. I want them all. And as you can see, we greaves here. So comparing them, like I said, every item has stats on there. So greaves, they are plated armor. They're going to have a better defense rating than leather, which is what the boots that we have on. However, the difference is though, armor actually is gonna give you better melee block efficiency and higher armor or defense, whereas leather is going to give you better critical hit damage. So like I said, we don't really need the armor this early because nothing is hurting us too hard. So we're just going to go ahead and add it to the junk pile to sell when we get there later. And we got some gloves now, so let's go ahead and equip that. Gonna take everything here. we now have our shield.
Wait. Do you hear something?
Alright, so now it'll probably pop up on here, but you can shields can deflect. If you do it early enough, you can actually parry. Once you get more into the combat, with more skills into it, you can actually start off combos and start off your attacks with the shield. So that's pretty much that's a nice little mechanic, especially if you're trying to go like do a different type of combo. You can just start off with your shield, and it actually deals damage as well. One down, one to go.
We need more than just that sword. That one had a bow. Get it?
Yeah. So as you can see, we deflected and went into our combo, got them into the air, and finished them off. But like I was saying, there are combos that you can only that you can start by strictly only from going from block once you get up into the tree. Depending on like what weapon you have, there are like different moves that you can do that will go from block. And like I said, like some of the moves in this game are pretty freaking sick once you start getting the combos down. Alright, so now we have picked up a bow. So we're gonna go into our inventory for weapons, and then it goes into the secondary slot. So the bow, it gives us 8 physical damage plus 3 piercing damage. It does a total of 11. So now that that's on our secondary, it goes on to Y. You tap Y, you can shoot the arrows. However, if you see at the top left next to the actual arrow quiver, we can run out. However, you get more arrows back just by waiting over time. You can also charge up the arrow as well by holding down Y. Once you see that glow like that, it is a charged arrow. It will deal more damage. Let's go ahead. There we go.
Archers up ahead. Let's shoot them before they see us.
And there it is, arrow. The tutorial on arrows. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Nothing too over the top. Now the next, what is this area? I think you're about to. Oh no, it's past this. Nice and simple. Didn't even know we were coming. And just like everything, you can. Well, I will say this: the one thing I did hate is like there was no take all option. You could take it, but when it came to like lockpicks, you always had to select how many you want to take. It was crazy. But yeah, like there was just a lot of stuff in here that was just useless. Like tattered documents, they don't sell for much of anything. So you do have to be mindful what it is you are taking out of treasure chests and off enemies, because some of the stuff is literally just like useless crap. There's the lead plate. Yep, add the junk because that is more armor. Like I said, we need crit stuff.
Daggers are deadly if you catch an enemy unaware. Their speed more than makes up for their size.
Alright, so now we are about to swap out this long sword for our dagger. So, daggers. Daggers do less damage than long swords do. However, daggers enable you to one-hit kill back here. So as you can see, daggers are actually a lot faster than swords too. Move this chest. Add it to the jump. Let's head up this hill.
More up ahead. If you can sneak up on them with your daggers, you should be able to finish them quickly and quietly.
Alright, so the snip, this is where we go into the stealth mechanic for all you rogues out there. This leather armor with all this crit on there, that's going to end up helping you. Granted, now the multiplier for stealth kills, right button, the multiplier for stealth kills, your armor doesn't equip to them. It's an actual skill, so you actually have to put into the skill. But as you can see, right button to go into stealth mode. If you there it is. They have the eye above the head. They have the eye above their head. The more you invest into stealth, the slower that eye above their head will fill up, or not or sometimes it won't even fill up at all, depending on how high your stealth skill is. And so it'll allow you to get close like this, and then we're just going to take them out of this world. And that. Oh, seems like we've got more customers. He's gone. And now for you. And that's that. You aren't dead? Now you are. Well, that was anticlimactic. And here we are, the introduction to magic in this game.
Cave blossoms only respond in the presence of magic. Perhaps there is more to you than it seems.
Alright, so hold and hold right trigger to access your abilities, then press X to use your storm bolt.
What are you?
So yes, mana in this game does regen shortly over time. There are things that can increase your mana regen, such as potions, as well as armor and gems. Let's pick up the spider memo here then. Hughes, per your request, we finally got the spider problem under control. Claude will try to take credit for an efficient cleansing with his Praetorians, but I feel he overstates his case and fails to recognize the value that my own quick thinking and scholarly work provided to this successful operation. While overseeing the spider purge, I noticed that those guards who were affected by spider venom exhibited stiffness of joints and tightening of skin. Symptoms which suggest a possible solution for the internal cohesion problem of some of the well's creations. I would have studied these symptoms in more depth at the time, but the guards willfully and flagrantly disobeyed my orders to delay application of antitoxins. As such, I request that we capture some of these spiders in order to harvest their venom for future testing. Furthermore, I trust that these insubordinate guards will be punished immediately. For my steadfast pursuit of knowledge, I require no medal nor promotion. All I would ask is that you please reassign me off the subject disposal detail. Gurin. I guess, good sir. I guess. But here we go. So, now, for you mages out there, robes, and all things robes, as well as cotton, like soft materials, they give you mana regen. Honestly, when I told you that blacksmithing in this game was broken, magic in this game is broken. and I mean extremely broken. Like, what if you want to play a magician like this game, like with magic, this game would probably be a cakewalk. Granted, like there are like certain modifiers you can put on yourself to make it a little bit harder on you, but they make magic so overpowered in this game, as of which it should be though. But like it's the same thing though. If they do get in close to you and hit you, then you might as well just go ahead and say that it's over for you, because your magicians do have low health. However, there are ways to circumvent that, and like I said, once we get to it, I will let you all know. Dealing with the spiders. Whew. As you can see, that vulnerable popped up. Spiders are vulnerable to magic. Multiple enemies, be the human, whatever, troll. They do have weaknesses as well. So there you go for you magic users. There are multiple. There's staves, there's wands, there's chakrams. Staffs, they're all elementally infused. So yeah, the main elements in this game: fire, ice, lightning. So yeah, have at it. You can go nuts with this.
They've completely covered the tunnel. Maybe you can use that staff to burn a path through.
So as you see, fire burns through spider webs. There are other
Spiders, burn them! Burn them!
And there you have it. 3 burned spiders, well done. And that's junk. Take that. And we don't need the rest of that because I have no use for bones. That the spiders have been we can leave this well of souls.
Die, Twatha bastard! Wait, you're not one of them. Ansel, yet alive! What is this? That's what I intend to find out. She came out of the well. What? She better get inside to see the old man. Quick, before those Twatha make another push. This is where we part ways. Take whatever you want from this armory. You might have a few things that would fit you. Just make sure you get your shoes. We can hold off the Tuatha here.
Alright, so now, as you can see in the middle, there's this green icon. I need more help. That says 5%. We don't really have the persuasion skill. You can always do it, but there's a 5% chance it'll work and 95% chance it won't. So yeah, if you want to try it, we can go ahead.
There's nothing more I can do except to stay here and slow down the Tuatha. But this is the armory after all. Check the chests. We might have a few things that would fit you. With luck, I'll see you on the outside.
And since we've already asked them all the questions,
I'll see you on the outside, if fate wills it.
Yep, there's nothing left. Now, if you want, you can talk to Claude here. We get some gold off of that guy. And yeah, take everything in this room. Literally,
it's quite like layers of impervious metal.
Yeah, literally take everything in this room though, because it will add it to the junk. This is an actual repair kit. You want to take that.
Leather armor is thin, but will give you the speed to reach an enemy's throat.
Yeah, we've already got these on, so this next pair go. Take all 6, and that also goes. Also take that. And then
cloth frees your body and mind. That's why mages prefer it.
And then we're going to add these and take everything else. And then we're going to, for weapons, we are going to swap back to the iron daggers. And through the door we go. Onwards. Upwards. Yep, so click the right stick, get your first person view, good old, standard look-see. And that's where we came from. And if you can tell by the awesome music that was Mr. Greg there, then haven't been playing that many fantasy games now, have you? So from now on, though, I'm not going to be reading these. I'm just going to put them up enough. You can pause the video, read them at your own leisurely time. But we're going to kind of move along with this. Some nice sound effects as well, too. It actually sounds like souls are coming from there.
You've made it, and look at you. Even with all you've been through. The Tuatha, your return from the dead. Please forgive me. You must be terribly confused by all of this. I am Fomorus Hughes, and this is my laboratory at Alistar. Everything you see here is dedicated to one thing. The Well of Souls. The pursuit of immortality. And you're my first success. If we only had the time. There's so much we might learn from one another.
I'm dead?
I wish I could tell you more, but your death is a mystery to me as well. It seems that your memory died with your body. You see, the well is designed to capture the soul of someone recently deceased, recreating their physical form within its waters. Simple, really. Your rebirth is the first we might truly call a success. There have been others, but the results weren't quite right.
I don't like how you said that, I'm gonna be honest.
I am Fomorus Hughes, Scholar of Vivification Prime Circle. We're standing above my life's work, the Well of Souls. There's so much to learn about you, though. I imagine it's all a bit muddled. Side effect of the prismere? Shape of the basin? No. If only we had more time. The Fae are complicated. I could write 10 volumes on the effects of immortality on a pseudo-feudal court system alone.
That's a mouthful. Pseudo-feudal court system.
You don't know. They're called the Tuatha. They were once Fae folk of the Winter Court, but they've been twisted by their Lord Gadflow. But how could they have found us out here? We're miles away from the front lines. The war has never touched Dalantarth. And why attack the well? Too much to explain right now. The Tuatha have come to stop my work, but I don't believe they know about you. Not yet. What's important is getting you out of here safely. You're the only proof of what we've achieved here. I may not be able to save the well, but I can ensure that its only success is safe.
I don't run from nobody, homie.
Absolutely not. I've got my notes, but it's most important that you stay safe. It's just that you're fascinating, simply astounding. I'm not certain what's caused it, but somehow... yes, as I was saying, I'm not sure what... Perhaps I should go see.
Sir! Mr. Hughes! The Tuatha have reached the lab! They're inside the...
Oh.
No! We've got to get you out of here now! Quickly! Follow the path to the town of Gorhart. Find Agath. He's a friend, and he may be able to help. No matter what else, stay alive!
Okay. Okay. Little man say he got some spunk. Oh. But yeah, let's get out of here before we end up getting crushed. Ooh. One dead man. Got him. Two dead men. And here we go, the first mini boss, I guess you could say. Oh, the troll. You sit down. Okay. Time to focus on the troll. Miss me. And oh, we got it right in the kisser. That, ladies and gentlemen, is called a fate shift. We will learn about that literally coming up next. And I'll talk a little bit more in depth about that. So the Squire Rings gives us +5 health. Yes. And here we go. This is one of our first shards that I was talking about. So you can combine these shards to make gems, and then you put the gems you can slot into either weapons or armor, and they give you perks. This one is a protection shard. So there's crystalline shards filled with mystic energies of protection. Combine it with other shards to alter or create your own socketable gems. I'm just gonna take everything else here and say toodaloo to the Well of Souls. Close behind us, and here it is. Welcome to the world of Amalur. It's nice, bright, beautiful, ain't it? Like I said. And we got our first level up. Alright, so it's a two-part system for level up. The first part for leveling up, you choose your basic skill that you want to. So there's alchemy. Alchemy, like I said, grants you lets you harvest plants to make potions. Blacksmithing, pretty much simple, make armor and weapons. Detect hidden, like I said, you can. It allows you to detect traps, hidden treasure, enemy ambushes, secret doors. It's really, like I said, it's really overpowered starting in the beginning of the game. Dispelling, like I said, allows you to dispel wards, wards or magical anything like that has magical harmful magical properties on it, so that way you don't get cursed. Lock picking, standard, pick locks, pick chests, doors, whatever. Mercantile, get better buy and sell rates. Persuasion, like I said, you get better talking skills. Sagecraft for creating powerful gems, and stealth for being more stealthy. As of right now, early in the game, there's literally no reason to be stealthy. The number one thing you do kind of want to go with right now is the detect hidden level 2, so that way we can actually get some better gear. After that, the next level up, you do want to go ahead and take. That blacksmithing level. Yeah, you do want to take that blacksmithing level 1. Okay, now part 2 of the level up process. You have 3 trees. You have a might tree, you have a finesse tree, and you have a sorcery tree. As you level up, there are a different amount of points that you can put into each tree. As of right now, though, the tree that we're going to put points into is, well, we're going to put it into a point into our magic right here, harpoon. It allows us to pull an enemy towards us, or if the enemy is bigger than us, it'll pull us towards the enemy. Let's see. The next one is going to be, where is it? No, I don't need. Actually, yeah, I forgot. I completely forgot. So the for starting out for the build that we want to go, everything for right now is going to go into might for right now. So level 1 for that. max level. Yeah, can apply damage. Doesn't matter. And then I don't think sorcery actually does anything. Yeah, it's actually, we want the damage mitigation from the shields. So that's what we're going with. Alright. Break these barrels. And now I think about it, yeah, we're gonna, primary is good and all, but we're gonna go back to the long sword because now, since we put that that 1 point into might, we can hold down the attack, and we have a charge attack now. It's called Comet Strike. All our might weapon, all the might weapons, which are going to be your might weapons, are long swords, hammers, and great swords. Will have this charge. Will have their own special charge attack. So, let's see, oh boy.
So you're fighting there. We could have used more of you. Did they really have a troll? I don't know how the Twatha found us, but if they had a troll, it couldn't have been an accident. Fate was kind to collapse that doorway behind you, or they would have chased us into the glade. We're technically a type of wild fae, related to the fae of the summer and winter courts, actually. Dangerous enough in the wild, but Twatha also used them in their army. Hugh's ran off, you say? I wouldn't worry too much. The old man's tougher than he looks, and he's always got a plan.
These Tuatha.
I never did trust Fae to begin with. Those Twatha are the worst sort. They waged some sort of holy war against humans and Alpha for years now. But the front's all the way out east. What are they doing out here? How did they know about this place?
And I'm supposed to be finding this Fate Weaver.
Fate Weavers? Ah, charlatans. You swears by them. I'll be damned if I trust my future to some cards. We started building here when they found Prismere in the mines nearby. Never thought we'd see Twatha this far out west, though. Good luck out there.
Thank you. And so now the world is our oyster. We have free roam. And ladies and gentlemen, when I tell you this map is huge, yeah, so this is just generally where we are right now. But going back to the world map, yeah, that is the world map. Yeah, this game was huge, like that, and that's what I said, it's underrated. And then over here, the Teeth of Naros, it's the only DLC that they ever put out for the game, and it's still pretty huge for a DLC piece. So yeah, for $60, this game was actually in comparison, honestly, lengthwise, this game was probably pretty much about as long as The Witcher 3. If I'm if I'm like literally talking about how much stuff there is to do in the game, it's literally like Witcher 3 length. So now we can dive and find treasure. Aha, so hammer. Now we're talking. It's a numbing hammer, so ooh, it does ice damage. So yeah, we're actually gonna equip that now for y'all. Show y'all exactly how awesome and dangerous hammers can be. Oh, we got an opening here. Dirty rats. Very well then. Boom! Get out of here. Booyah! Get out of here. Smash him in the face, baby. Good old hammers. Oh, that's my alarm there. Sorry about that. I forgot I had an alarm set. But yeah, so here's your first look at lockpicking. Here we have a very easy unlocked footlocker. So there's two ways you can do it. You can actually do it manually with a lockpick, which is the 22 we have on the left, or we can use a Prismir pick, which is the red little pick on the right, and that will always unlock it no matter what happens. And we can force the box open. Now the higher chance we have of forcing the box open, the higher the chance of us forcing it open, the less chance we have of damaging what's inside of it. So if you can, you always want to pick the lock. Generally, if you got a Prismir, you depending on how hard the lock is and how much you put into your lock picking skill, you can use the Prismir pick. But kind of want to stay away from forcing it, because like I said, if you force it and it doesn't work, you will literally break everything inside the chest and you will lose what's inside there. So now the way it works, typical. Well, it's a little what is it? It's a little I want to say Skyrim-y, but you well, not Skyrim. Well, yeah, Skyrim, but you turn it the way you want it, which way you want it to go. Yep, and you press or with the right stick you turn which way it needs to go. Then with the left stick you push the lock forward. If it's in the right place, you'll see a shake. If it's not right, then you readjust. And there it is. Hey, and now we got a static hammer, which adds electricity. So now that actually does more than our ice hammer, so we're actually going to equip that one now. And another easy foot locker. Yep, so that's not where it's supposed to go. Alright, nice, another easy one. And so we got a crude birch staff. It's lightning. It deals lightning. So the one we got was a fire staff. This one, it deals lightning. You know what, let's go ahead and equip it in the secondary slot there, and just take all of that. And so yeah, there it is, the lightning for you. Sadly, the animations in this game look so cool. And here it is, dispelling. So the chest, it actually has a malevolent curse on it. So this is an easy one. What will happen is, as you can see in the picture over on the right, there's going to be wards down. They will be depending on how hard the chest is. There are some insta-kill wards on there. If you click them, it'll automatically curse you. But for the most part, you have to hit the wards in order. They will be numbered, so you have to go from 1 to 2 to 3. Usually, one has the shortest. One has the shortest time. 2 has the medium time, and 3 have longer times. And that's pretty much how that works. So now rarity in the game. Rarity works just like always. You got white rarity, green rarity, blue, and purple, and then you have your uniques will be yellow or kind of gold, like kind of goldish. So the scouts daggers here, they're actually better than the ones we normally have. So as you can see, they just have higher base damage. Where the ones we had 8 damage. The scout daggers do 10. And then the sturdy armor that we've got on, it's significantly better. It actually has more armor rating as well as the crit on there. So we're definitely going to equip that. And that's generally how, pretty much how finding stuff out in the world, running around in the world works. It's completely open and free here. Like I said, you can go and dive and find stuff in the water. Sturdy queers. We're gonna add that to the junk because we don't need that right now. So yeah, we're just swimming around this first area trying to grab all the stuff that's over here. Yep, the poisonous. Honestly, I think that was everything that was in the water over here. So we head back to this side. Overturned cart here. So now these items here, the items that you see here, these are actually for your blacksmithing, crafting weapons and or armor. These all of these will be used in there, so we're just gonna grab them all. I'll explain them more, like if we ever do any blacksmithing. As you can see, there's tons of plants on the ground that will be going like this. If you get your alchemy skill up, it will allow you to actually get more actual items from these. But since ours is relatively low, more than likely we probably won't be getting that many items from the plants. And as well, like I said, if there are curses in the game, there are buffs. So there are shrines scattered all throughout the game as well. You can pray to them, and they will give you certain buffs. You can have an infinite number of buffs. However, these last only for 1 minute. So using the Shrine of Matharu, we're gonna pray, and then if you want to check to see what the Matharu's protection does, go over to status, and then it should say effects, and it should tell you down there. Matharu's protection, temporarily divine blessing granted to you by a shrine. You get 0.5 health regen per second for 60 seconds. So for 60 seconds, we get the heals. Uh-oh. Oh, that's a bear. And it looks like the bear is attacking somebody. Let's go be good Samaritans. Boom! Booyah!
Berry eater. You. I remember you. You're the one? How did you come back? How did you find me here?
Actually, how the hell did you make it out without frickin'... Actually, yeah, did you know about it?
I had no idea anything like that would happen. The Well of Souls is bigger than one gnome's pet project. My employer pays for information about its progress. I just send reports to make some money on the side. I never wanted anyone to get hurt.
Who did you report to?
I promise you, if I knew who it was, I'd tell you. Sharing research is one thing, but academic sabotage is a crime.
Yeah, 5% chance. You don't sound like you're lying, but if I ever see you again, bruh, just know it's probably gonna be on site. Get out of here.
Thank you, thank you. Here, take this. It's the pay for my last report. I don't want anything to do with it. I'm going back home to Odessa.
There it is, folks. We did our good deed for the day. Let that guy go. Oh, wolves, eh? Oh, what's that? Y'all can't move? Because the electricity is too shocking for you. And there you have it. So mixing and matching up weapons to suit your playstyle. One of the, like I said, one of the very underrated things about this game. And so it adds new places to the map. But as you can see on our little map up there in the top right, there's a little treasure chest right there. That is our detect hidden skill kicking in. So if we run around here to the corner, you notice there's nothing here, right? Or is there? And thus our detect hidden skill pops in really early, showing us, says loot the pile of rocks. What would we get? A crude copper talisman, a magic shard, and more items for crafting, for blacksmithing actually. So we're just going to take these two, but actually we're going to put on the copper talisman now. So the way talismans work, the talismans are more so for you magicians out there. However, I personally like the talismans. So hard iron, like I said, hard iron, like the crude iron shield, has a better defense rating. As you can see, it blocks 6 compared to the crude copper talisman. It only blocks 4. However, the copper talisman actually has an element to it. So if you deflect, and that element, whichever one it is on the talisman, will be added on to the target that you deflected on. So if it's fire, they're gonna burn. If it's electricity, they're gonna get shocked. If it's ice, they're gonna freeze. And honestly, talismans look way cooler than shields do. So we're just gonna equip it and get around here and let you see how awesome these things look. So there it is. That's the talisman compared to your shield. Looks pretty freaking sweet, right? Exactly. So now let's go on ahead here.
You've come from the tower, haven't you? Name's Agarth. Maybe you can help an old fate weaver, eh?
Oh, you sent me to find you, actually.
Did he? Poor old Fomerus Hughes. He respected the way the world works. What a shame. He's probably dead by now.
What makes you think he's dead?
The cards told me that the Well of Souls would work, but Hughes' success would come on the day of his death. He took it pretty well, honestly. Although we did a lot of drinking after that.
That's cool. I was dead too.
You're the one. Then that means it all makes sense now. The cards this morning. I drew the Gravedigger, the Running Man, and the Beast. Prepare yourself. They're coming.
Then let them come. Oh, you're walking towards me and not running away?
Your future is running out!
All right, again, now we're about to see it in full action. The big, one of the big mechanics of the game, the fate meter. Once that purple, you see the purple bar in the top left up there, under should be my red bar. Up there is my health. At the very bottom, the third bar, the blue one, is my mana. In the middle, that purple bar is my fate meter. Once it gets full, we get the fate shift, and then we get to do this. And so now that we are in Fate Shift mode, our attacks deal a crap ton more damage. Time slows down, we deal more damage. And then once we have every single person in that area low health, we can actually unravel their fate by doing a fate shift, which is literally we are taking their fate. Pretty much think of we are removing their existence from from this universe right here. So. And by us doing that, once we are getting a huge multiplier by whenever we kill enemies with the fate shift, and we get it maxed to 100%.
What? How? What are you? The threads of fate. I've seen them before, but I've never seen anyone manipulate them like that. You just changed how the world was supposed to work. How did you do that?
I don't know, bruh. It just happened.
Fate is the will of the gods. No mortal should be able to change it. How is that even possible?
I'm special,
Come
bro.
here. I'm going to do a reading. You might be able to change the threads, but fate will still have a plan for you. I promise not to tell you if I see your death.
For real, do you always see death, bro?
It's a gift. Some people paint landscapes. Other people write poetry. I peer into the weave of fate's tapestry and see people's deaths.
That's kind of morbid.
That would be my guess. He was an academic, but he had a proper respect for fate's plan, unlike most gnomes.
I don't believe in fate. I make my own.
That's fine, but you don't have to. But I can see that you're nervous. Relax. This is what fate weavers do. I'll be seeing your thread in the weave of fate. Who you are, what you've done, where your path takes you. Or at least, I should be. You're real, right? I swear I haven't had that much.
And there it is, bruh. Go home. You're drunk.
I am. But still, I've never seen someone whose fate was just missing. Not even when I was drunk as the king of ballads. This doesn't make sense. All mortal creatures have a place in the pattern. You should have one too, dead or not. If this is true, and I'm not saying I believe it, then your path is yours to determine.
All right, and here is the third part of the leveling up system in this game. So so before we had when you leveled up, you pick a skill. After that, you got the points and you put it into one of the three trees. Well, the final part is destinies. So as you heard Agarth there, he could not read our fate. The way the world works is in this game, everyone has a fate. What you've done, what you will do has already been written into being. So no matter what you do, where you go, a fate weaver will always be able to read those threads of fate and see exactly what you will do, what you're going to do. You can't change it. It's there. However, we died, so therefore fate no longer has a hold over us, and we can literally do whatever it is we want to, because there are pretty much in that we're Pinocchio right now. I've got no strings to hold me down. And so the way that they showed it in this game is the fact of unlocked destinies. So as you level up, as you can see on this first card, the Fateless One, which is what we are right now, newly resurrected, your fate is blank, formless, and ready to be forged into the shape of your choosing. It's a card system. So depending on how many points you put into either the might, the finesse, or the sorcery tree, it will give you a card. It will give you a card, and the card, which is your fate, which is your destiny. And selecting certain destinies will give you certain buffs as well as abilities. So for just starting out, we've already got 1 point in each of the three categories. So the starting category, brawler, 1 point. It's With this destiny, you are a formidable melee combatant. You can withstand a lot of punishment, and it's usually more effective for you to block or suffer an attack rather than dodge one. So again, with this card, if we equip it, it gives us plus 15% melee attack damage and plus 20% block efficiency. If we put the 1 point in finesse, it goes to the rogue. Unlike many other warriors of Amalur, rogues prefer to fight from far away or from behind or by dishonorable means, and usually by surprise. As a rogue, you sneak, dodge, and slather weapons with poison to gain advantage in combat. And so the bonus we get for equipping this card, 10% to ranged attack damage, 30% damage resistance while we're dodging, and plus 5% piercing damage. And then for our mage, which would be our sorcery, as an acolyte, you are devoted to the arcane and a mastery of elemental forces. You prefer to destroy your opponents with raw magic rather than crude or mundane methods. So as you can see, equipping this card, plus 25% elemental damage, and our magic spells get reduced by 10%. And so you can, and so the way the game works, you can mono spec. As you can see, you can mono spec into might, finesse, or sorcery, or you can have hybrid classes, which are finesse and sorcery, might and sorcery, or might and finesse. Or you can be a jack of all trades by putting into all three, might, finesse, and sorcery. So just a quick look for at the might tree. Once you hit tier 2 by putting 11 points in the might, it goes up. You become a fighter, which gives you 17% melee attack damage and 22 block efficiency. Tier 3 gets you soldier. It adds in stun duration. Tier 4 is warrior. It boosts your stats. Tier 5 is the conqueror. It adds a chance to stun now, and then tier 6 is the warlord. And once you reach generally tier 5 or tier 6, depending on which class you have, you get a special skill. So the warlord special skill is last stand. Whenever your health is low and you die, you automatically resurrect with 20% health, and your health will drain until you kill an enemy. Finesse here. Again, it keeps going. You got the scout. It gives you more base damage, piercing, you have evasion to avoid hits. Then once you become an assassin, and then your Nightblade. Assassination is guaranteed, plus 300% critical hits after you trigger an evasion. Sorcery. Same thing. Once you hit tier 3, that's where you start to tier 3 for like sorcery. That's where you start to see changes in like the way the mechanics work. Since you're a sorcerer, you don't dodge anymore. You blink. So that's what the special ability is down there. Blink, a short range teleport. It replaces your dodge. Because I mean, whoever saw Gandalf the Grey like dodging there, right? He teleports. And then again, like I said, then you have your hybrid classes. So finesse and sorcery. That's pretty much your spell cloak. You're using blades and poison, but you're also using magic. So your blink turn you get a blink at level 3. However, once you hit level 4, your blink changes into a poison blink. So if you blink through people, it poisons them. For tier 6 of the finesse and sorcery, your special ability is whenever you hit someone with a critical hit, it restores your mana. Anytime with dread, it's guaranteed the critical hit versus enemies that are in a panic. So might and sorcery, which is what we're actually going to be running on this playthrough. The might and sorcery, the guardian. Damage we get, it goes back to mana. We get elemental resistance. Our teleport, blink. We get a blink, so we no longer it's pretty much our spell sword here. If that's what you in most games, a spell sword we replaces our dodge with a teleport. We're getting max armor, and then once we hit tier 6, we get our harmonic overload. So every time we get a kill, there's a chance that an elemental projectile will burst forth from the defeated enemy's body. So that's what we're going for. But the might and finesse is pretty much like your again, it's like it's saying the duelist class. So Yeah, piercing damage, damage while in stealth. For the tier 6 cutthroat, plus 15% physical damage, plus 1% chance to steal health, and gold drops as 20% of damage for 5 seconds when you're striking a fallen enemy. So yeah, like there's multiple ways to play the game, and honestly, like I said, if this game still went on, I would have loved to see them add more destinies in there. But then, like the final, if you want to be the jack of all trades, it pretty much boosts your equipment. Equipment does require. It does require a set amount of like finesse or sorcery or whatever you have on in order to use it. But for the Seeker, it reduces those requirements by 25%. Yeah, adds one to like all skills, damage resistance, critical hits, and then once you hit the universal tier 6, it unlocks all weapon mastery abilities. So you don't have to put points into like into the mastery abilities; it'll automatically unlock them for that. So tons of way to play the game. And the thing about this is you are literally not locked into any one of these. They the fate you can go visit any fate weaver and pay gold, and you can reset all your skills, you can reset all your points, and you can you can select whichever destiny you want. So you are not tied into any set thing. You can play how you want to play. So as of right now, though, like I said, we're just gonna go with the brawler because it's pretty much simple.
Damn it, it's the truth. At least, I think it is. The world is changing. You might be a sign of that. Or maybe the cause. I've never had a reason to doubt my own readings, but we should consult with Arden. He's not a friend, but he's got a good eye for the tapestry. I'll meet you at his home to the east. I'm going to see if I can be of any help to the wounded at the tower. Once I was Agarth the Unyielding, the Blade of Avgrun. I wrestled the Colossus Priestess and declined knighthood by the High King of the Fae. I was a hero of men, but that wasn't enough for me. I joined the Fate Weavers, hoping to find a way to conquer destiny itself. Turns out fate is the one thing I couldn't fight. You can find Arden's little cottage in the middle of Yulven. Had to move there when he got run out of town. He's a damned good Fate Weaver, but that doesn't make you very popular, especially not in dark days like these. We are all threads in the tapestry of fate, measured, woven, and cut according to a great plan. Fate Weavers undertake the task of reading those threads. Our title always was a bitter lie, since we have no control over how that tapestry is woven. But you do. And when a Fate Weaver looks at your place in the weave, we see only the shapes of what you may choose to become. The Fate Weavers were once a great, unified order of sages from all the mortal races. We foretold the destinies of kings and gods. But that power takes a toll. Nobody likes bad news. And all the news in the world is getting worse. The Order splintered long ago. Now the old traditions are all but lost. And all I foretell is the fate of my beer. And I see it being empty soon.
Jeez, this guy's a freaking professional alcoholic, not a Fate Weaver.
Hughes was always an odd one. Curious and determined as any of his kind, sure. He never shut up about his work. But he always knew what was important. He didn't worry about dying as long as he knew he'd get the well working. The Tuatha aren't like any Fae I've ever known. They're cruel, bloodthirsty, and savage. Why, they're practically human. That's just it. I don't know if you've got one, but that's why we're going to see Arden. He lives in a little hut to the east in Yulven. I'll meet you there. What could this all mean?
All right, so And you can see the corpses of our enemies have strewn the floor before us. We're gonna loot these guys. Take all of that. Yeah, and so pretty much that's the intro to Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning here. So if you guys like the series, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, as well as, like I said, always leave me comments down there. Let me know what you guys think, and let me know if anything I can do better. Or you know what, if you like, if you want to tell me about like which destinies you actually want to see on the channel as I'm playing the run through, or you know, choices, path choices, like kind of how you want me to play. Like I said, comments down there. I'm always welcome. And yeah, if you like the content that I'm putting out, go ahead, hit that subscribe button. And after you hit the subscribe button, make sure you go ahead and hit the bell so you can get notified. That way you'll never have to guess when I'm uploading, because that bell is going to let you know exactly when I upload. And like always, guys, thanks for watching, and we're always good like grandma's cookies. I will see y'all next time.